Yo, 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 it's your boy Doofy and welcome back to another freaking video. Today, we're going to react to cellular respiration. Last time I reacted to brain function, and I knew every single part. I did. Anyway, this is the same guy that was chatting shit last time and looking at his computer, reading off his computer for all the different parts of the brain. Yes, I'm calling him out. His name's Bozeman Science. He thinks he knows everything, but you can clearly see him looking and reading all the terminology from his computer. I am much cleverer than this man. I have at least 42 IQ. He's probably got about 12. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. Subscribe down below if you want to see more of this. Let's go.
Hi, it's Mr. Anderson, and in this
Hell yeah,
podcast, I'm
Mr. Anderson.
Cellular respiration.
Cellular.
Sometimes students confuse respiration, breathing, just breathing in, and cellular respiration, and they are linked. Cellular respiration, however, is going to take place at the level of the cell, more specifically inside the mitochondria.
Is my cells breathing?
So we need oxygen for that, but it's basically taking our food and then breaking it down in the presence of oxygen to make ATP out of it. What if you're a bacteria? Can you do respiration?
Broken.
You sure can. You don't need a mitochondria to do respiration. They can actually use their outer membranes to do aerobic respiration.
Aerobic respiration?
If you are a track athlete, so
oh
this
my
is Usain
God.
Bolt right here. When
Usain
you
what?
run, you're using respiration to make energy in the form of ATP
Usain Bolt?
and allow your muscles to move. And so this is a quick little study I did. I took all of the world records currently
Fastest
right now
boy.
from the 100 to
Still
the 10,000.
fastest boy.
And so this is Bakili is the guy who owns the 10,000 meter record.
Not gonna
And
lie.
what I did is I figured out their pace. In other words, how fast they're running.
Not gonna lie to you, Usain Bolt be looking kind of shredded, you know. Like he's got some good muscle. He's got some good muscle tonage, like ripped up, bro. And even this guy, even though he's like skinnier, like that shoulder there, is absolutely ripped. This back muscle here is what I am trying to build on. And like there's the back lateral, the front lateral, and the side lateral right here. That is one ripped up shoulder. That is. Look at this shit, bro. One day. I know I'm not an athlete, but I'd like to get that.
In meters per second for the 100, the 200, all the way down to the 10,000 meter run, which is a little over 6 miles. And what you can see in this graph is that the pace is quickly going to drop off, and then it's pretty much going to stabilize. And if we were to go out to the marathon or continue, basically we're pretty effective at running at a specific pace, but we die really quickly when we're sprinting. And so a way to think about that is the two things we're going to talk about in this
like 2 minutes.
is we're going to talk about aerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration is going to be respiration in the presence of oxygen, but we also have almost like a turbo button that is anaerobic respiration. And so if we really need to go fast, we can get that extra speed that we have up here
by taking cocaine.
By doing our anaerobic respiration. The problem, if you've ever run, is that when you get out to this 400 meter, you get a build-up
400 meters.
Lactic acid.
And it takes me 40.
Incredibly painful, and so you can't keep that pace going. Example of a lab I did in class was, and it's weird how this exactly mirrors it. What we did was the muscle fatigue lab. So basically, you had a tennis ball, and in one hand, you had to squeeze it as many times.
I could do this test. Let me show you. You are a cheating fool, Mr. Science Man. Let me show you. I've already worked forearms today at the gym, so my forearms are probably going to hurt from doing this. But let me show you what you really need. Now this is epic. Not only is it a hand squeezer, I can also adjust the strength. Yes, look at me. Yes, okay. Oh, yeah, that does the forearms good and proper. Yeah, let's go. When you're doing this, you gotta make sure they touch. You know what I mean? If they don't touch, then you're weak. Anyway.
As you could in 10 seconds, and then do another 10 seconds, and do another 10
I'm
seconds.
not doing any fucking seconds. I'm doing rips.
It looks like around 25 times in 10 seconds.
Rips,
you can see
not
that
seconds.
It quickly drops off, and then it kind of levels off. And so the same thing. This would be that aerobic respiration, and then this is going to be that anaerobic respiration. And it was fun to see the students' faces, because as they start to go anaerobic, your arm just starts to build up if you have lactic acid on the inside of it. But before we get there, let's talk about respiration and what it's for. It's for heterotrophs. So we're heterotrophs, and basically what we're doing is we're taking organic compounds in the presence of oxygen, and we're converting that to carbon dioxide and water.
Yes,
what else are we generating? ATP.
That's why trees are important.
Now, what kind of things are doing that?
Save the planet, guys. Plant trees. If it weren't for trees, we wouldn't exist on this planet. Also, bumblebees. Don't kill bumblebees.
Animals, fungi, bacteria are all heterotrophs, and they're using
every animal on this earth,
right,
is here for a reason. No more or no less. We all mean something to this planet, and without all of us, every single mammal on this earth, we wouldn't be around. We're the most cleverest mammal on this planet. Human beings are, yet we are f***ing the planet up day by day, and nothing's being done about it. What is that about? Please. The most cleverest animal, but we're just acting like parasites. Come on, when will people open their eyes? I might be a dumbass, but I'm not stupid.
To actually
make energy. But yeah.
Luckily, we have autotrophs like plants and algae, and basically what they're doing is they're converting that carbon dioxide and water back into organic materials. The only thing that's a little deceptive is that plants are also going to break down those organic compounds, and so they do cellular respiration as well. And so everything's doing cellular respiration. It's how we get energy out of our food. Okay, here's our equation. And again, if you know what photosynthesis is, this is simply the opposite. We're going to take glucose in the presence of oxygen. So here's glucose and here's O2. And then we're going to break that into carbon dioxide, water, and then we're going to...
Not going to lie, most of this I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at. Somebody save me. I've got a freaking big fat boner.
Generate a little bit of ATP. Now, where is the energy sit? The energy sits right here in this hydrogen on the outside of that glucose. And watch what happens to that hydrogen. It's going to fall.
Wow, hydrogen, moving.
Because oxygen wants electrons. And so that's where the energy is coming from. And what the energy is used to do is it's used to make ATP.
Daddy chill.
ATP is that little fuel that we use in all of our cells. This slide is funny, but it's saying this.
Build the power of oxygen.
This fire comes from oxygen pulling electrons close to it. And so there's a huge amount of energy found inside.
Fire needs oxygen.
That pull of electrons towards oxygen. Now,
why don't they just, when we have like forest fires and shit, why don't they just create a big glass dome and put it on top of the fire and strangle it of all its oxygen? What's so hard about that? The Simpsons does it, so why can't everyone else?
If we were to do this inside our body, we could get a lot of energy out of our food, but we would also burst into flames, and so we do it in a really controlled.
Aha! We would burst into flames. Do you know what that means? Do you know what the scientific term for humans bursting into flames is? Huh? I know this one. It's called spontaneous combustion. You learn something new every day.
Old process. Just like when we learned photosynthesis and we had to learn the parts of the chloroplast, when you're learning the cellular respiration, you have to learn a few parts of the mitochondria. So first of all, we have these folds on the inside of the mitochondria. Those are called the cristae. And basically what we have is two membranes. We're going to have an inner membrane right here. And then we're going to have an outer membrane right here. And then this space in the middle is called the inner membrane space.
I know what it's called. It's called gap.
Space. And on the inside, mitochondria, we think, used to be bacteria.
Hypochondriacs.
And so they'll reproduce through binary fission. They have their own DNA. They have their ribosomes. But they are kind of almost living inside us, not as a parasite, but as a symbiont. They're actually helping us as we generate energy. So there are 3 steps in cellular respiration. Let's start with the first one. So the first one...
I've got a new hashtag, guys. It's hashtag bring back dinosaurs.
...is going to be glycolysis. The second one normally we think of as the Krebs cycle, and then the third one is the electron transport chain. And so the first one, I love this diagram here because it's putting
Glucose.
glycolysis outside the mitochondria.
Glucose,
And so this is going to take place
glycolysis.
outside the mitochondria. Where would that be? Well, that would be in the cytoplasm of a cell inside your body.
I'm not going to try and read any of these
outside
words.
of bacteria. But what
Nada.
happens in glycolysis? Basically, we're taking glucose. Glucose is a 6-carbon molecule. And in glycolysis, we're going to break that down
Wow,
into
2
two
arrows
molecules
that
of
he's put there that were
pyruvate.
already there.
Each of
Great.
those have 3 carbons inside.
Okay,
So
3 carbons.
3-carbon molecule. That's what glycolysis does. What do we generate in there? Well, we generate a little bit of ATP.
Mate, I don't give a fuck. Alright, just tell me something that's at my IQ level. Stop using big words.
For 1 glucose molecule in glycolysis, we're going to make 2 ATP.
What is glycolysis?
The other thing that we make
I'm not even
is a
listening.
chemical called
What are you on
NAD.
about?
What we're basically
Nada.
doing is we're transferring high energy electrons
Nada.
to NAD, and we're adding protons to it as well. And we'll get to NAD in just a little bit.
Protons.
Let's follow pyruvate then. Pyruvate is going to diffuse into the
Who doesn't like
mitochondria, and then we're going to have this
protons?
pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to convert that 3-carbon molecule into acetyl-CoA. This is coenzyme A. So basically now we have a 2-carbon molecule. That is going to go into the Krebs cycle. Now, since we're going from a 3-carbon pyruvate to a 2-carbon acetyl-CoA, we're giving off carbon. And that carbon is going to be given off in the form of carbon dioxide. And so when you breathe out, a third of that carbon coming out of you is going to come right here from this complex inside the matrix, we call this. I should have said that before. This is the
Fucker right in the pussy!
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Didn't mean to distract you.
Let's keep
My bad.
watching acetyl-CoA.
Yeah,
So it's a
let's watch some
2-carbon molecule. Where does it
acetone.
go next? It goes to the Krebs cycle. And so in the Krebs cycle, we're going to break it down
Crib?
further, and we're going to get rid
Leave
of
Mr.
these
Krabs
2
alone.
Carbons in acetyl-CoA, and we're going to give those off as carbon dioxide. So we're getting rid of carbon dioxide. What else are we producing in the Krebs cycle? You can see here that we're producing a little bit of ATP, 2 ATP, but we're also adding energy, again, to NAD. And we're adding energy to its friend. We'll call this
Fada.
FAD. And so
Nada,
what do NAD and
fada.
FAD have? They have these high energy
Fada too.
electrons. And they're going to
Nada.
carry those electrons
Too,
to
yeah.
the 3rd step, which is the electron transport chain. Okay, let's get to the electron transport chain. And all of our energy, pretty much, that was in glucose is now in NAD and fat.
What am I
So they're
doing,
going to
bro?
transfer their electrons. And
Gives a
those
shit.
electrons are going to go through what's called an electron transport chain.
I know what this is. It's an electrical device. They're showing us electrics. Freaking hell. It makes sense now.
Basically, they're moving through a series of proteins.
It's like
And
the inside
the
of a
energy
plug.
of those proteins is used to pump protons. Protons are going to be hydrogen ions to
Protons?
the outside of this inner membrane, into what's called the inner membrane space. So now we've built up all of these protons right here.
Protons.
What happens to the electron? The electron is going to be added to other protons and oxygen that we breathe in, and that's going to make our byproduct, which is going to be water. And so let's slow that for just a second.
Slow
the
what?
oxygen that you breathe
Uh-huh.
is moving in here, and it's going to be that last electron acceptor right in here in the matrix, and we're going to take the protons. What happened to those protons? They'll actually flow through a protein called ATP synthase. Those protons will combine with the electrons and the oxygen, and it's going to make water, which is going to be a byproduct of that. Now, how much ATP do we make down here? Well, we can make around 32 or 34 ATP in this last step. And so in the electron transport chain, we're making a whole heck of a lot of energy. And so it's worth taking a look at how that works. So let's go to the electron transport chain. So kind of to situate ourselves, what do we have? Well, we have NAD, our friends NAD and FAD. What are NAD and FAD passing off? They're electrons. Those electrons are going to move through the electron transport chain like this. Every time they go through one of these proteins, it's going to pump another proton ion out, because that's the other thing that NAD and FAD are doing. They're bringing these hydrogen ions. So we're going to pump these ions out here, and pretty soon...
Did you get it? Brain fart?
What you get is a positive charge out here in this inner membrane space. There's no place for it to
But
go.
I'm hilarious.
In
I
other
know.
words, every NAD that we
Cut off
drop
it.
off, we're going to move
Thank
those
you. Thank you.
electrons down, and we're going to generate a whole heck of a lot of positive charge in this inner membrane space. Now, if you look right here, FAD is actually dropping its electron a little bit further down, so it can't generate as much, but we're pushing out either 3 protons or 2 protons, depending on if it's NAD or FAD. What
Nada
happens to all
or
of these
fatter.
protons out here? They can't go anywhere. They can't go outside the mitochondria. They can't come inside the matrix, but they can move through this.
Fuck
this is
you!
called ATP synthase. That's the name of this protein right here. And basically, this is the site of ATP synthesis. And so basically, as every proton flows through it...
This may possibly be the best reaction video I've ever done in my entirety of my life. I have really enjoyed listening to every single word that Mr. Dr. fucking Who here has told us, and I understand every single thing he's told me so far. Even a child would be even a child would be able to understand this. This is absolute easy to understand. Absolutely freaking easy.
Matches that phosphate onto ADP.
I know, I'm looking cute today, I know.
And that's why in the electron transport chain we can make all of that ATP. There's nothing special about it. It's just that we're storing all that energy. Instead of releasing it in a ball of fire, we're releasing it in little bits to make a heck of a lot of ATP. Okay, so there's a problem. What happens if you don't have
Are you
oxygen
talking to me?
pulling that electron the whole way? Or let's say you don't have mitochondria present.
What's
Well, then
going
you have a problem.
What's going on
The
here?
problem is this. It's okay to take glucose during
Broken.
glycolysis and break it into two pyruvates.
I'm not having this.
Because you're going to make a little bit of ATP.
Hello?
But the
Why is this
problem
broken?
is that
Hello?
Hello? You're adding those electrons
Broken,
to
guys.
NAD.
My
And so
voice change is
basically what's
broken.
happening is that we're adding electrons to NAD plus, and we're transferring it to NADH. And so pretty much what happens is there's no more of this.
Daffy, don't ever recommend any videos ever again, because this trash, right? I got back in school days. I got a C in science, bro. C for clever, and this shit is like A levels, mate. I don't know what the fuck this guy's on about.
This. And so glycolysis has to shut down. Even though we can make a little bit of ATP with each breakdown of glucose, eventually there's no NADP+.
Damn, this video is just going to be hilarious.
So the whole process has
Absolutely
to stop.
hilarious. I'm going to edit the frick out of this video just to make it funny.
The first one is called lactic acid fermentation. This takes place
Look, here he
in
is.
muscles,
He's saying
especially when
freaking
muscles
Bolt.
have a
Is that
huge amount
fast?
of
Has he even
stress,
got
like if
Bolt
you're
in his name? Because he
sprinting,
bolts everywhere.
if you're holding your breath
He's like,
for a long period of time. And so basically
gone,
what's
mate.
going on,
Absolutely
again,
gone.
there's no
FBI
oxygen, there's
open
no
up.
mitochondria. So let's look what happens. Basically,
I've got one
your
beard
cells
hair
are
here.
taking glucose in
stop
glycolysis
hair.
and breaking it down into two pyruvate molecules. So
Pyruvate
we're stuck
molecules?
here, remember, with the NADH. But then there's a further conversion. Basically what you're doing is you're converting that pyruvate down into lactate or lactic acid. The nice thing about that is it's accepting these electrons, so we can make more of this NAD+, and then this can be recycled again. And so basically what happens is that you can have this process occurring with glucose, you know, over and over and over and over and over again. And every time you do that over and over and over and over again, basically you're making 2 ATP each time. And so if you've ever done sprinting, when you're sprinting, you're getting aerobic respiration, but you're also doing anaerobic respiration on top of that. The problem with that is you're going to build up lactate in your muscles. And that lactate is like a toxin. You're going to have to break it down. And that takes oxygen. And so if you've ever watched a sprinter, especially somebody who's run like the 400-meter dash, when they're done and they're interviewing them, they have a hard time doing an interview because they have to keep breathing to take in more O2 and eventually get rid of that lactate. And so lactic acid fermentation is going to take place in some bacteria and in muscle cells. But we have another solution to this in bacteria, anaerobic
My name is Mr.
of
Ted.
stopping right here with this full NADH.
I will take over for this reaction for Doofy. He does not understand this video because he is stupid, okay? So I will take over for this video for today, and hold up, don't look at my penis. I will take over for his video for today, okay? And he will react to no video later. Okay, let's watch it.
When we do alcoholic fermentation, what we're making is carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, oh, very well, very well.
Oh,
I love me some yeast. I like to cook bread with yeast.
They'll use up all the oxygen.
I buy my
and then they'll
yeast from the
switch to
prostitutes.
alcoholic fermentation. What are they going to build up? They're going to build up ethyl alcohol.
Shit's
That's simply
tasty.
how we make wine. And there's also going to build up carbon dioxide, which we could let go. Or if we're making beer, that's the carbon.
Oh, beer is my favorite. Yes, exactly.
And so again,
gets me so drunk.
Is just a quick way to get energy out of glucose. We use glucose.
Doofy said that this video is a fail, but I think that it is it's a win. You know, I think he's going to get millions and billions of views for this video, and trillions of likes. Anyway, I will do the outro for Doofy now. Doofy says, thank you for watching this really, really good video. He says he hoped you like this video. He said that he put lots of time and effort into this video. If you could subscribe for him and come back next time. Next time he will have fun video again if you want fun video again. If not, then I will tell him to go f himself, and just leave comment and let him know what you'd like to see next. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Peace out, Doofinators. You're amazing. F my asshole.